Okay then guys, let's have a little look at this paper, see what we make of it, see if there's any slip-ups or hazards when we review the questions, or just look at them before we would actually do them in an examination. So this is the EdExcel C1 Maths paper for May 2011. 90-minute paper, 1 hour 30 to do all the questions in this paper. You get okay, let's go through it. Calculators may not be used in this exam, so we just have to work things out in our head. Right, fill out the table at the top, of course. Initials and signature, your surname. Answer all questions. So you must write answers for each question in the space following the question. There's plenty of space. There's a mathematical formula booklet and statistical tables too. Full marks may be obtained for answers to all questions, so that all will have to be tried if at all possible. And the marks on the right hand side indicated 10 questions in this paper, 75 marks, 28 pages. So let's have a look then. Ensure that your answers to parts of questions are clearly labelled. So part A, B, C, question 1, 2, 3 and so on. Part 1, part 2 as well. All need to be put down and specified. Show sufficient working to make your methods clear to the examiner. Answers without working may not gain full credit. That's fairly clear, isn't it? So let's have a look at the first question then, see what it is. Indices, very easy question that. Always nice to do a question on indices. It gets you off to a really good start and some easy marks in double quick time. So that is a good one to do, as it's so straightforward. Question 2 is on integration and differentiation of powers of x, which again is very straightforward and easy. 7 marks for this, which is nice to get under your belt. So question 2 is okay. No surprises there. Next question then, and there's plenty of pages to put the information in, isn't there? P and Q, coordinates. L is perpendicular to PQ. We can get the gradient, can't we? Then we know the gradient of the perpendicular line, and we can also work out the midpoint of this. So we know the point, the gradient. We can get the equation for L and rearrange it for this form. So 3 looks good as well, fairly standard, easy, straightforward question. So that's number 3. So let's have a quick look at 4. Simultaneous equations. Sub y equals 2 minus x into here. And we'll get a quadratic in x, won't we, probably, which we can then solve and then find the value of y. So again, that doesn't look too bad at all. So that's question 4. 5 is sequences. Is defined, the first term is this. Each subsequent term is defined by this relationship here. K is a positive integer. Find A2, which would be easy, of course, and then show that A3 equals that, and find the first sum of the first 4 terms, and show it's divisible by 6. So it looks hard, but it's not really when you look at the question and how it breaks down. There's quite a few marks for this question, so that's a good question as well. The next one then, question 6 now. Looks awkward. This is just x to the half. You split this up as you would do fractions, and you can write it in this form. Read off p and q. So that would be the power here and here when this is simplified. Then we can note that we can write this in simplified form, and we can separate the variables and integrate, put in this initial condition, and we can obtain y in terms of x and simplify. So again, that's a fairly standard question. Slightly awkward in terms of splitting the terms up though, isn't it? So we have to be a bit careful on that one. Here's a quadratic. K is a real constant. Find the discriminant. That'll be easy. Then rearrange it in this form. Find the integers a and b. That'll be easy. And then show that for all values of k, the equation this has real roots. So when we let that equal 0, we need to show that equals 0 has real roots. So we'd have to look at how the discriminant plays out here, wouldn't we, when we look at that? But again, it doesn't look too difficult really, does it, when we look at the nitty-gritty. Question 8 is a sketch of a curve there, and then we've got to do some sketches. We've got to do that sketch, f2x minus f of x, and fx plus p, where p is between 0 and 3. So that's fairly easy, straightforward, little sketches there that's required for question 8. Question 9. Plenty of room to do the working there. So let's move down to 9 now. So here's one problem in its own right. Sum 2 to 4 plus 6 up to 100 inclusive, so that's easy. Here's a series. K is a factor of 100, so it goes into 100. That's why you can finish on 100 here when you go through this series, and it's positive, yeah. Number of terms in the series, well, that should be easy, and show that the sum of the series is those terms there, so that's okay. And find in terms of K, so this is a separate problem here that is to be done in its own right. Not too difficult as well. Find the sum. The 50th term rather, isn't it? So that, again, that's straightforward and easy to do. So that's that one then. Now question 10. And it's at the times of this when you forget how many questions are in the examination paper. It looks like there's just 10, doesn't it, in this one? Here's a cubic. We know how to sketch those. Sketch it. Differentiate it once you've expanded it, I would imagine. Expand it and then differentiate, you get this, so you can verify that your answer is correct. So once you've done that, you don't need to double check part B, do you? Because it's already there in the answer. And then you've got some normal calculus stuff to do, tangents and stuff at that point. So that's 10, and I think that's the end of the paper there, isn't it? With just some spare paper at the end to check your work. Yeah, that definitely looks like it. Okay, good. So that's the exam paper then. So we just had a quick look through to see if we liked it. It's a fairly easy to understand paper and shouldn't pose too many difficulties whatsoever. And there's no reason why we shouldn't want to do this sort of exam in sequential order. Of course, we've got 90 minutes, so go through the questions in quite expeditiously in the first instance, and then go through them again and double check them. And if you've double checked them and you've still got time before the 90 minutes is up, triple check them, and don't leave a second earlier than you have to. Use every possible second to make sure you obtain every single mark you possibly can, so that you can do as well as you possibly can and reap the benefits for all the hard work that you've put in. So all the best if you're taking a C1 exam in the near future then, guys, and I hope you get on okay with this worksheet as well. Cheers!